Good afternoon. My name is Christy Veronica. I am the LSPR Communication and Business Institute student under the supervision of Mr. Charles Bonar-Sirait as my mentor and lecturer. I'm here to talk about the climate change issues that is getting worse and give a bad impact to our life. This is a simple explanation of climate change based on an article in the New York Times. The average temperature on the surface of the planet is already increased 1.7 degrees Fahrenheit since 1880, which may not seem like much, but think about it this way. The heat from human emissions is roughly equal to 400,000 Hiroshima atomic bombs exploding across the planet every single day. Future generations are in a big trouble before now. It'll gradually continue to get warmer and storms will grow more intense with longer periods of drought in between. But the longer term the emissions continue to rise, unchecked climate disaster will be so severe they will destabilize entire nations, send millions of refugees across borders, cause widespread extinction of most species on Earth, and melt the polar ice caps, leaving most of the world's coastal cities several feet underwater. All this could take centuries to something like a sudden collapse of agriculture will trigger immediate chaos in society. Base case is we get our act together and begin to rapidly bring emissions level down. Meanwhile, Earth turns out to be less sensitive to greenhouse gases than we currently believe. Plants and animals adapt quickly. And major technological breakthrough helps society limit emissions and adjust to climate change. But all these opportunities opposite of what were the only thing in our control is to limit emissions using all available tools and best behavior currently at our disposal. Worst case, the collapse of food productions causes spiraling prices and as our capitalist utopia breakdown. Billions starve as our world gets violent and messy real quick, kinda like a zombie apocalypse but with extreme hunger spreading chaos instead. So it's still just like zombie apocalypse. This would be coupled with the melting the Antarctic ice sheet, leading to rapidly rising seas that would force us to abandon many of our greatest cities and all of the social and scientific progress that we were making within them. Adding insult to injury is the fact that many of the emissions were emitted while building these now abandoned underwater metropolises. If emissions continue unchecked, we're looking at a total rise between 80 to 160 feet, which would occur if all the ice in the poles melted. So the oceans will rise. The real question is how fast. Scientists only have Earth's history to base their predictions on, which suggests that he had occasionally hit 1 foot per decade. So we'll have to adapt to an altered coastline sooner or later, but probably much sooner than later. Because computer forecast only gives us a range of future possibilities. The most important evidence comes from the study of past climate conditions, which clearly show that every time the amount of the carbon dioxide in the air rises, the earth warms up, ice melts, and the ocean rises. What's important to remember here is that we are in uncharted territory. Humans are pumping carbon dioxide into the air far faster than nature ever has before us. Scientists have been publishing strong evidence that warming is making drought and heat waves more frequent, causing heavier rainstorms and more severe coastal flooding. But while the internet has made us all more aware of the weather disaster in distant countries, it's hard to prove these are all directly made worse by climate change, although they probably are. Canada and Russia both have vast, frozen lands and could see some economic benefits from a warmer climate. Putin, the Russians, therefore, have been reluctant to make ambitious climate commitments, but expect that to change as these countries realize they will be swamped by millions of refugees from less fortunate nations. Libertarians and other political conservatives don't like the policies provoked to fight climate change and have chosen to try and block them by actively undermining the science. This effort has been funded by the oil and coal industry, who favor making money above all else. And as more resources are devoted to solving the problem, our chances at big technological breakthroughs are improving. But we still should be spending about 3 times as much money as we currently are on these efforts, according to several in-depth reports. You can reduce your carbon footprint by doing things like plugging leaks in your home insulation, installing a smart thermostat, taking public transit and taking less airplane trips, buying an electric car, and putting solar panels on your roof. A big one is eating less meat, and what's really needed is for you to speak up and exercise your rights as citizens, because strong collective action through states and national policies is how we'll make the most impact. So let's make a move to governmental as one organization and start to fix the world. Until next time, thanks for watching my video. See you later.